Hi, I'm Dr. Brisley, and I'm here with Margarita today. And Margarita is going to share her story, and it's quite unique in the fact that when Margarita first came, I actually almost sent her away because on her intake form she said that she had no pain. And I said, well, if it's not broke, we're not going to fix it, so maybe you don't need to come here. So Margarita, can you share what happened that day? When I came in the room and I said, I don't think you need to be here. What did you say to me?
I said, no, I do. Everything hurt. It was, because there was no specific. It said, what are the specific reasons that you're here? And I was like, well, nothing specific. But when you turn over the back and then the little body is covered in little marks and everything, because everything, I was just so used to being in pain.
I was so used to being in pain. You told me that you blocked it out, that you were actually suppressing it.
Yeah, no, and actually from you had to like pull it out of me, and then for the next couple days, verbally. And I had to, and then I would think about even more stuff, and it was like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this and this and this and this and this, and it was almost like those 2 days that I was between that first session, the intake and the adjustment, I was in so much pain because I was aware of my discomfort that I had blocked out. And then that first treatment was amazing because it was an immediate
Tell us about that. What do you recall?
That was, initially when we went in, I had to lay on the table. It was uncomfortable. Laying flat on my back without knee support had always been uncomfortable, and had gotten to a point where more than just a couple of minutes would be excruciating, and when I got up, I could be locked up for a couple days. And then after that very first treatment, you said you can bend your knees if you need to, and I didn't have to. And I immediately started laughing and crying because I was amazed, because I realized that I had hope, that there's a possibility that I wouldn't have to be in pain for the rest of my life, which I was starting to, I'm 33 now, I was 32 then, and I was really dreading my 60s because I didn't know.
I do remember that, yeah.
I didn't want to think about it because I was afraid.
I
was afraid that, if I was in so much pain in my early 30s, how was I going to survive through to my 60s? And now I feel like I can live to be 120 and I'll be fine.
Now listen, this is a woman who was in pain, right? Worried about the next 30 years of your life. Margarita, what do you do for a living?
I'm a massage therapist. I help other people.
You help other people and people help you. Do you
Yes.
not have reciprocity in your profession?
Yes,
Which means you get to work on each other all the time.
Yes, and what's really amazing is that body workers, and my husband also, but one of the therapists that I've been working with for 2 years training was amazed. 4 weeks after getting regular treatment, she gave me a massage, and she said it felt like she was working on a completely different body. And to me, it felt like a completely different body getting worked on, because it wasn't painful, whereas before she could really dig in, before she could apply very light pressure. I mean, just me laying on the table, she said that, and she's like, it looks like the way your body looks after an 1.5 to 2 hour session.
Initially.
Yes, and in that 1.5 to 2 hours, she wouldn't even be able to get to my full body. She was able to give me a full body massage from head to toe in less than an hour and dig in, and it just felt like pressure. It didn't feel like excruciating nerve pain that I had to just breathe through and bear with it, and that was pretty amazing.
Have you received chiropractic care before? Do you know other chiropractors that you've worked with?
I've worked with chiropractors, I've been adjusted by different chiropractors, and I've never had the kind of results, especially after one session in treatment that was so gentle and so effective, and that I just really see the improvements. And honestly, where my neck was at, most chiropractors would look at that and be like, well, you're near phase 1 cervical degeneration, we can keep it from getting worse. But they never said, we can bring it back to what it should be, which is what you can do here, which is what's amazing, because they're like, well, we'll keep it from getting worse. And it's like, well, I don't want to keep it from getting worse if it's possible to actually.
And we have seen the pre and post X-ray, and we have had, hard visible evidence of that. And it's been, a matter of months, not years. You're still within your first year of care. And then how would you feel, you travel for your work, you're out of town a lot of the time, you keep a very rigorous schedule working with other folks. how would you rate how you feel when you're out of adjustment now and needing care?
It's still better. It's still so
So
much
a
better.
bad day is a better day.
A bad day is still so much better than what an average day was before. And I didn't even really realize that. And the other amazing thing too is that I didn't realize how high functioning I was in pain until the pain was gone. And since then, I've become even higher functioning. And I also feel like I'm thinking better, like getting my head straight. Orthogonal really got my head straight. I was thinking more clearly, really realizing what are the things that I want to do with my life, which is, still help people, but helping people on an even broader level than I appreciated before. So
definitely increased vitality. I remember you saying something about you were starting to love more, that you felt good inside,
definitely.
that you felt like you just wanted to contribute.
I realized that so much of that discomfort that I was in, because I was a dark person. I was in pain for as long as I can remember. The first time that I started getting chiropractic treatment, I was 8 years old. So I've been in pain for so many years that I had no idea that it really made my whole worldview dark. And I kind of hated everyone, and not personal individuals, but just in whole kind of hated the world and was easily frustrated with humans. And once the pain was gone, suddenly I had patience and I wasn't frustrated with them, and I had perspective, and I didn't take things so personally anymore. And then I realized, it was like, oh my goodness, I was just in pain. and maybe that's why so many other people in the world are kind of crazy, because they're in pain. And so it's increased my compassion and made it possible, and made me really want to assist on a broader level, whereas before I was more like, I only love these people. Now I'm like, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Margarita, for sharing your story. It really helps others to hear your story. Thank you.